My daughter was waving at me as the train was leaving. She was waving at me with a big smile on her face. I guess my wife and daughter haven't seen each other for 2 months or so. They must be really looking forward to it. I sent a text to my wife, letting her know my daughter was on the train. After that, I headed home from the station. Around 4 hours after I got home, I got a call from my daughter. "Call me when you get there." This is what I told her when she left. So I assumed that was what she was going to call to tell me. "Hello? Lucy, did you manage to meet up with your mother?" I asked her, and she said in an uneasy voice,
"Dad, come here, please. Dad, you have to come and get me right now."
"What? What's wrong? What's wrong?"
"I didn't see Mom."
"What do you mean?"
"I don't know, but Mom didn't call or text me the whole time. I didn't hear from her, and when I went to her house, some strange man turned me away."
"What?" "My name is Michael. I have a wife, Emma, and an 11-year-old daughter, Lucy. My wife got pregnant when I was in college, and we got married. I am now 32 years old. After the birth, with the support of my parents, I managed to graduate from college. Since then, I've been working as an office worker. Because of the unexpected pregnancy and premature marriage, we had a hard time with people's confusion and worry. It was never easy. My wife always said,
"I had always planned to marry Michael. It just happened sooner."
She really reassured me by saying that. She became a stay-at-home mom. She supported me. After I graduated from college, I got a job at a well-known company. I got a good salary. We could live in company housing, so we lived happily without any financial difficulties. We didn't exactly have a honeymoon life as a married couple, but I didn't care about that. I loved my daughter so much. I loved her more than anyone knew. I always helped with childcare on the weekends. My wife would go with their friends during these times. I think it was great that she was able to relax. Our family life together was full of happiness. The days passed by in the blink of an eye. My daughter went to elementary school before we knew it. Around that time, my wife started working. My wife and I were both busy with work. Still, my wife and I cooperated with each other. We were busy with child rearing and housework. I had been working for the same company for about 7 years. I had worked my way up in the company slowly. I'd been promoted. I had more responsibility. I often came home late, but we went on family road trips on the weekends. Those trips were where we made a lot of memories. We spent many happy days like this. It was truly a grateful life. I thought that these happy days would continue for a long time. But one day, while I was satisfied and enjoying that life, my wife had an assignment where she had to move away. She's a housewife, but her daughter is already 11 years old. I'm with my daughter to take care of her, and my wife's parents are supporting her too. And as for the new assignment, it seems to be a very important job. There's apparently a promotion involved. If she gets promoted, of course, that means a raise. And our daughter will eventually go to junior high and high school. Of course, I want her to go to college too. Tuition fees and other expenses will be a lot of money. With my wife's salary and mine at the moment, I honestly had my doubts. My wife wanted to take this step and move out on her own. I had to agree to it. I had to admit that it would be best. I was even hoping that this would help her get ahead in her career. She said,
"Well, I think I can handle it for about 6 months.
Well, 6 months should be alright, but my daughter loved my wife. I was a little worried about her being away from her mother. My wife said to my daughter,
I'll call you every day, okay? I'll try not to make you feel lonely. Please, hang in there for Mom. We can meet up and go out on the weekends if you want.
She reassured her daughter. She cares about her family. That's the wife that I love. I'm sure she'll make time for her daughter, even if she has to move out on her own. My daughter also said,
It's okay. I know it's work. I'll miss seeing you. But I'll put up with it. I'll put up with it.
So, my daughter and I saw her off with smiles on our faces. After about 3 days, my wife called us on FaceTime and spent a lot of time talking with my daughter. She called even before my daughter said a word about missing her mother. I thought to myself, which one of you is a kid? It was good to know they missed one another. Watching my wife and daughter talking on the phone, it made me happy to see it. I realized that my wife and daughter were bonded. They were getting along well even with the distance. The first weekend of her assignment, she was too busy to come home. The next week, my wife came home on a Friday. She made time for us. She has a hard time at work, but she makes time for us nonetheless. I'm just thankful that she makes time for us. I'm grateful that she makes such an effort all the time. She was so happy to have dinner with her mother. She had tasted her food for the first time in a long time. But after about 2 months of living like that, I noticed a change in my wife's behavior. She used to call her daughter all the time. We used to have a video phone call once every 3 days. But the frequency became less and less. She stopped calling me too, of course. I know she's busy with her work. And she lives alone too. She has to take care of the housework by herself. I knew that once she gets used to working over there, she would have more chances to go out drinking with her colleagues. I saw nothing wrong with that. I knew I shouldn't let any weird thoughts stew too long for no reason. I shouldn't pressure her too much. I didn't force her to contact me. I never asked her to contact me too much. But I hardly heard from her at all. And she came back here less and less often. As the time went on, our daughter asked why. I explained to her that it was for a good reason. Because her mother was busy with work. I could see that my daughter was grieving and dissatisfied. Even if she didn't say so, I could see it in her eyes. I knew this would be bad if I continued, so I said to my wife, I know you're busy at work, but can't you call her, even if it's just for 5 minutes? I told my wife, Lucy is always missing you at home. She really loves you. She always looks so lonely. She said,
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
She apologized. Again, I never heard from her again, and so the days. Eventually, my daughter's birthday was coming up. Her birthday is this coming Saturday. Maybe she'll come home to surprise her. That's what I thought. Or at least, that's what I was hoping for. My daughter even asked,
Mommy, will you come home?
But on the day of my daughter's birthday, my wife didn't come home. And she didn't even call to say happy birthday. This time, my daughter was very disappointed and could not hide it. I was so mad that I called my wife several times, each time also leaving a message. Lately, she doesn't pick up the phone when I call her, and she doesn't return my calls unless I call her more than once or twice. So this time, I called her several times. Finally, after about the 5th call, she picked up the phone. She said,
What's wrong? You've been calling a lot, haven't you? What the hell is going on?
Today was Lucy's birthday. It was Saturday and you never came home. You didn't even call to wish her a happy birthday. What the hell?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. I'm so sorry.
Lucy was hoping to see you for the first time in a long time. She was looking forward to celebrating her birthday.
I'm really, really sorry. Tell her I'm sorry. Tell her I'm sorry and I wish her a happy birthday. And...
No matter what she said, she just apologized. It was like she was trying to get me to stop. I gave up and hung up the phone. But as I hung up the phone, I felt my anger flare up again. Think about your daughter a little more. I want you to take better care of her. I know you're busy, but still, I still think you neglect her too much. I sent her a text message saying this, but my wife replied,
I understand. I'm sorry.
That's all I got from her, and it never got better. In the meantime, another month or so passed. My daughter was on summer vacation. A little while ago, she started to say,
If Mom can't come, I'll go. I'll go visit her.
She's been saying that every day, even since summer vacation began. I decided to take the opportunity. I decided to let my daughter go to my wife alone. She wanted to experience something new. She was very excited about it. We live in New York City. My wife lives in New Jersey. If she takes the train, it's only a small distance away. I'll drive her to the train station. And her mom will pick her up at the other station. My wife said,
Okay.
And so we decided we'll make it work. She'll be able to see her mother for the first time in a long time, and I'll be able to see her off. And I'll be able to see her off on Saturday. And on Saturday, I saw her off and I went home. She was smiling and waving at me as the train left. She had the biggest smile on her face. It's the first time she's seen her mom in about 2 months. She must be really looking forward to it. I sent a text to my wife when she got on the train. I let her know our daughter got on the train. And it had been almost 4 hours since I got home. It was then I got a call from my daughter, and it was around 1 o'clock p.m. I thought she must have met up with my wife and had lunch. She must have called me after eating. I told her, call me when you get there. I thought that was what she called to do. That's what I thought. Hello? Lucy, did you manage to meet up with your mother? I asked her, and she said something I didn't expect to hear in her dark voice.
Dad, come and get me right now.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
I didn't see Mom.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I haven't heard from her. And when I went to her house, a man turned me away.
What? What did you just say? Anyway, first of all, I have to pick up my daughter as soon as possible. I have to get to my daughter. Where are you?
I just came back from Mom's house to the station.
Then go into a fast food restaurant somewhere. Stay safe and just order something and wait, okay? With that, I got into the car as fast as I could. I got into the car and headed for the train station. I quickly bought a ticket there and got on the train. I got on the train and headed for New Jersey. When I finally got there, my daughter was about to cry when she saw my face. Anyway, we went into a cafe near the station. She was scared and disappointed. I couldn't bear to see her like this. I ordered pancakes, which were famous in this area. When the pancakes came out, my daughter's face brightened up a little. She seemed to enjoy the pancakes. She was feeling a little better. Then I asked her what happened. She told me that when she arrived at the station, she couldn't get in touch with my wife at all. She waited for about half an hour and she didn't show up. Then I'll go to her myself. She wanted to meet her mom no matter what. I gave her my wife's address, just in case something happened. She's savvy with technology. She found the way to my wife's house in a flash with a map app. And so she got on the train to my wife's house, and when she pressed the intercom, a male voice answered. "Who are you?" A man she did not know. She was surprised.
"I'm here to see my mom,"
she managed to say aloud. Then the man came over the intercom and said, "You're on Ruasan, so don't see your mother. Just go home," and left it at that. After all this, he didn't open the door under the apartment and never answered the intercom. She went back to the station in defeat and sadness. I couldn't have been more furious. I was so angry that I couldn't hold it in. I couldn't help it. If he told us not to see your mom, let's do as he says. After I said that and brought my daughter home, I immediately started preparing to move. I was having a hard time staying in this house. There were too many memories. When I explained the situation to my parents, they were furious. They said they would do whatever they could to help. So I asked them to let me live with them temporarily until I could find a place to live. I decided to stay with them until we could plan something. My wife told me,
"I didn't see Lucy at the station. Did something happen?"
I received a text that said this. I guess the adulterer didn't tell his woman the news. I guess he didn't tell her that he turned her daughter away. And I picked her up, but I didn't see any texts or calls from my wife. There was no word from her from when my daughter came to the station to when we went home. So I don't think my wife even went to the station. I was dumbfounded at the lie. I decided to let it slide for the time being. Lucy got sick on the way. She had to turn around. I just got out of the hospital. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you, I replied. And my wife replied,
"Oh, I see. Is Lucy okay? Call me if you need anything."
And we ended the exchange. At first, I was annoyed that she was pretending to be concerned. I was angry because she would leave my daughter alone like that, but she would get what was coming to her. I'll leave her alone for now. After that, I was ready to punish my wife. I sent her stuff to her new address. Then, I ordered the results of the investigation I'd ordered from an investigator. I received the results of the investigation. I sent the proof of the affair, along with a content certified letter to their workplaces. A few days later, everything must have arrived. I received an uncanny number of phone calls from my wife.
"Hey, what are you doing?"
"What? I just wanted to let everyone know what you've been up to."
"You've gotta be kidding me. We're in the middle of a fucking shitstorm."
"Of course you're in trouble. That's what I was trying to do."
"And you're sending me all this luggage?"
"I don't need your stuff. I'm not even paying rent there anymore. We moved. Lucy and I live elsewhere now."
"What? When did you leave that room? When did you leave?"
"About a month ago."
"No one's been living there for a month, and they're still charging rent?"
"That's correct. The apartment, I think it was rented in your name."
"Oh no, I'm almost 2 months in arrears already. I'll be evicted soon. That's why I've been getting calls from an unknown number lately. This is terrible. I mean, I'm really in trouble if I lose that room."
"It's okay, isn't it? Why don't you just move to New Jersey? Why don't you just go live with that man?"
"You sent a certified letter to the company. They found out about my affair and now I'm in big trouble. They're bringing in a replacement from headquarters right now. They're sending me back to New York. So if you send me all my stuff here, I'll have a hard time getting back to New York. And it will be even worse if I don't have a home."
The plan worked out better than I thought it would. I almost laughed. But then I calmed that happy feeling. I said, "You were going to have to pay a price. This is how much you had to pay this time. You hurt Lucy and me enough to deserve it too, and it's not over yet. I'm going to ask for a divorce, alimony, and child support. Prepare yourself."
"Oh no."
My wife had no energy left to respond at that point. She went silent. I told her, "We'll talk to our lawyers." I said that and hung up the phone. After that, I hired a lawyer as I had declared, and everything went ahead. The divorce went through without a hitch. Alimony from the ex-wife and adulterous partner. I also requested child support from my ex-wife. She came back from her work assignment early because of the affair. This was an unprecedented incident. She became the target of laughter within the company, and the other employees looked at her coldly. She was seen as despicable. Of course, she can't expect to get any more promotions now, but since she has to pay alimony and child support, she can't quit her job either. She's probably feeling pretty bad right now. My daughter was also done with her, even though she apologizes and says she wants to see her daughter. My daughter says every time,
I don't want to see her anymore.
She deserves what's coming to her. It's a real shame, but it's what to be expected. I was able to find a place to live. I'm living in an apartment together with my daughter now. I'm going to work hard to support her. I want to watch her grow up and be a strong woman. Thank you for watching. How did you like today's story? Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.